Hello again, everybody. I'm Snapper Lancaster, welcoming you to another edition of the Central Alabama High School Sports Show. Well, you know, we've had our 6 spring sports in championship competition the last few weeks, and as of today, all of the crowns have been won or lost, as the old saying goes. And so we've got a lot we want to talk about. We've got a couple of teams that competed in the championships but wasn't able to come away with one. One's a softball team, the other's a baseball team we'll be visiting with in a few moments. But first of all, let me go over the list, because I tell you what, the Birmingham area, once again, we talk about this all the time, the talented coaches and athletes we have up here in Birmingham. We'll start with outdoor track. In 7A, Hoover boys and girls won championships. In 6A, the girls took the championship for outdoor track. In tennis, in 7A, Mountain Brook comes away with a boys championship. In golf, 7A, Mountain Brook won, and Hoover won the girls championship. The Mountain Brook boys won. Soccer, we had a lot of action. In 7A, Oak Mountain boys and girls won state championships, and both their teams had to beat Auburn High School to win those. And the John Carroll soccer team, girls soccer team, come away with a 6A championship. So all in all, 9 championships won in the Birmingham area this year. The Alabama Gatorade Player of the Year for the soccer, the young ladies, was Lee Hines of Mountain Brook. And the surprise of all the championships, softball, we did not win a championship. Baseball, we didn't, and we thought we were, and sometimes, folks, that's the way it goes. But like I said, tonight we've got 2 outstanding coaches with some outstanding young athletes. We'll get the show started in just a moment. Don't you go away.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
Good driver discount, multi-car discount, good student discount. Helping you save money on car insurance is just part of the service you get from State Farm agent Jack Trappenstead. Whether an accident or a simple question, Jack and his staff get you the help you need. And that's the value only a State Farm agent can provide. Call Jack Trappenstead today. 40 million drivers already know nobody gives more discounts to more drivers than State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The next time you need electrical work, whether it be commercial or residential, you need to call Huffman Electrical Contractors, a company that's been in business for over 35 years. They've served clients not only locally in the Birmingham area and all over the state, but have clients outside the state of Alabama as well. Whether it's a new building or remodeling an older building or home, they can handle the job for you. Once again, that's Huffman Electrical Contractors. The number to call is 205-661-5005. That's 205-661-5005. Where at Huffman Electrical Contractors, a satisfied customer is always their #1 objective.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven.
And folks, welcome back. And our first guest who we're talking about is going to be a softball coach. As a matter of fact, one of the most successful softball coaches in the Birmingham and Jefferson County area the last few years. Of course, we're talking about C.J. Hawkins from Spain Park. And C.J., always good to see you.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having us.
And for people that may be seeing you for the first time or haven't seen you in a long time, I like to have the coaches go over the journey they took to end up that you took to end up being the head coach there at Spain Park. So tell us about your background.
Well, my background is I started my college coaching career at Florida State. I was a graduate assistant. I coached there for 2 years. And then after playing 4 years at Ohio State, then I went on and had an opportunity to coach at Hewitt-Trussville Junior High, coached there for 3 years. They opened up Clay Chalkville High School. And when they opened Clay, they asked me to be the head coach. I was there for 11 years and started their program, and we went to state 8 out of the 11 years. Had a great run there. It was a wonderful experience. Opportunity came open at Spain Park High School in 2007, 2008, and it was kind of a different experience because they've never had a winning program, and I thought that was a great challenge. Love the Hoover community. It was a great opportunity with the resources, facilities, and so I took that job, and this is my 8th year being there, and after 3 years, they had a winning season. We've had a winning season ever since, and this is our 2nd year to win the area championship, so we're really excited about that. We got a lot of great athletes. The Hoover area is wonderful to work in. Facilities are top-notch, families are great, and talent is extraordinary.
And it sounds like you found a home.
I have found a home, and I'm staying put.
And I tell you what, folks, not only have they been very successful talking about winning back-to-back area championships the last couple of years, this year ranked number 25 in the country.
That's correct.
At one point. So the one thing we talk about, Coach, all the time too, and I don't mean this in a negative way, is you, as well as all the coaches in other sports, the one thing you hope for you and your team as you get near playoff time, you hope you're peaking and playing your best softball. Sometimes it turns out that way, and then sometimes it just doesn't. That's the way it goes, as the old saying goes. But the one thing I want you to talk to me about a little bit is expand on the fact you've been in softball for many years now. And I remember back slow pitch. I think it was around the turn of the century, around 99 or 2000, something like that. They started fast pitch. And then all of a sudden, instead of just being softball players, these young ladies started turning into excellent athletes. Talk about the evolution of today's softball player.
Well, today's softball player, if you watch ESPN right now, it's all over the TV. There's 5 premier college programs that have amazing stadiums that are all successful, competing for national championships. It actually started in 93, 94 was the first year that they had a split season, slow pitch, fast pitch season in Birmingham. Marla Townsend and myself were on a committee of a bunch of other college coaches and high school coaches that wanted change, wanted to give kids an opportunity to play at the next level, have scholarship opportunities, and we kind of, met with people and said, look, we really need to give these kids, what the other states are doing, and it worked. And so we had a split season, and then after that it was all fast pitch, and from there it just boomed. You can be any size or shape to play softball, which is the great thing. Some sports are limited on your size and maybe your speed, but here you can be tall, short, fast. I mean, there's multiple positions, and there's opportunities at Division I, II, III, NAIA, junior college, and so kids can get scholarships in it, and it's rewarding. The youth parks are so exciting and booming. I got a daughter that's 9 that's playing. She loves it. These girls are her role model, and it's just exciting. And our area is probably one of the strongest areas in the state. There's so many great coaches, so many great players. There's so much parity, and it's just thrilling to be a part of it.
I tell you, the one thing that I was curious about, and I see where y'all had, 35 wins?
Correct.
And 12 losses?
Right.
And 2 ties. Now, I understand wins and losses. How did the ties come about?
Well, 7 of those losses and 2 ties were time limit games. They were maybe 3 innings. So I felt really confident that we would probably have won most of those if we would have had 7 innings with our group. And it's just the way that tournaments are set up because you can't get all the games in, and there's just too many teams playing, and it's just a time factor. So
and I know, and excuse me for interrupting, I was going to say, I know how the other sports are, so I'm going to take it for granted softball is too. You are required to play your area teams during the year, during the area part. But then you make your own schedule, right?
Correct. We have like 18 games and 7 tournaments you can play in.
Right.
So last year we were 49-17, so we played over 60 games. And this year, because we had a lot of rainouts and just circumstances, but there's a lot of great teams right here in the metro that are just
Are you one of these coaches, CJ, that you put more value on competition than winning a game. And what I mean by that, do you believe in scheduling tough games where by the time you get into your area games, if your team's not booming in the non-area, at least you're ready to play do you mind taking a good loss as compared to a lousy win, may be the best way to put it?
We try to play the best competition, and it's not hard to find it here because there's so many great teams. So it's really,
not many softers,
nobody
are
will
there?
schedule us. There's a lot of teams that won't even put us on the schedule. And so I'm thankful for anyone that will step up and schedule. So,
but you know what? That's a compliment to your team that you're and your program that it's that good. But it's a negative in as you have trouble finding the people that won't even to challenge you. And so that's got to be a little,
it's a credit
to
it's a credit to the girls,
Right.
but there's so, our areas are so tough that most people would rather kind of skirt around and go other places. So.
Well, like I said, it sounds like a backsided compliment, but it is an ultimate compliment when people do not want to play you because it's like well, that's going to be a loss. Well, you really don't know. You play the game to decide who wins or loses, and you may win all those, you might not, but it's the competition that makes you who you are. Well, Coach, time gets away quickly. The one thing I do know is we're used to you being very successful. This team, I know you had a goal, you didn't reach it, had an outstanding season, nothing to hang your head over. But I know you're already looking forward probably to the challenge of the next year. And I don't mean to demean what's happened this year, but I just know the program the way it is, it's onward and upward, right?
That's right.
Well, awfully good to see you, and another great year behind you, and we look forward to the same next year.
Thank you.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, 4 young ladies very instrumental in the great season they had this year. We'll be right back.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm.
Saved $760.
Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Alan Gurdeau in Trussville today.
The next time you need electrical work, whether it be commercial or residential, you need to call Huffman Electrical Contractors, a company that's been in business for over 35 years. They've served clients not only locally in the Birmingham area and all over the state, but have clients outside the state of Alabama as well. Whether it's a new building or remodeling an older building or home, they can handle the job for you. Once again, that's Huffman Electrical Contractors. The number to call is 205-661-5005. That's 205-661-5005. Where at Huffman Electrical Contractors, a satisfied customer is always their #1 objective. And folks, welcome back. As you can see, I'm surrounded by 4 outstanding young ladies that are not only outstanding young ladies, they're great athletes. And I'm going to let each one of them introduce themselves and tell me what position they play. And we're going to start with you, young lady.
I'm MK Bonamy, and I'm a senior, and I pitch and play first base.
And?
I'm Mary Catherine Tedder. I play shortstop, and I'm a sophomore.
And?
I'm Jenna Olszewski. I'm a sophomore, and I play second base.
I'm Destiny England. I'm a junior, and I play catcher and outfield.
Now, that's the way you do it and not mess up anybody's names, folks. And so we don't want to do that here. Now, the one thing I want you to know about these girls, not only do they have an outstanding season where they play deep into the playoffs, but these young ladies are all going to be someday playing college ball, it looks like. And I've got 2 MKs up front with me, and MK Bonamy, you're going to go to Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. Bless your heart, congratulations. MK Tedder, you're going to Texas. The eyes of Texas will be upon you. That's great. And Jenna, you are going to go to Auburn. Yes, sir. I will pray for you. That means I'm an Alabama fan. Don't take it. That's great. Auburn's a great place to go to. And Destiny, West Florida. Yes, sir. Well, girls, so far it looks like you're well on your way, not only to fulfilling your high school dreams, but also by being able to fulfill your dreams of going to college. And when I say this, I'm just going to say MK, and I'll look at you, and then I'm MK, and I'll look at you, okay? But being a senior, MK, going into this season, now, the coach and I have done talked about it a little bit. You girls have been very successful in your program last 2 or 3 years. What was the goal? I guess the goal was nothing less than a championship going in this year, right?
I mean, that's always the goal, but we just really, I knew we could come together as a team, and like once we started like meshing and coming together, like there really wasn't any stopping us. But you know, it's a game of failure, so it happens.
Well, it's not that you failed. I mean, y'all had a great season. You got beat in the tournament, but nothing to hang your heads over.
Right.
I guarantee you, all of you were very, very successful. And MK, in order to be that way, there's a word that we talk about all the time up here, and we stress it because of the importance of it, and it's chemistry. Team chemistry, if you've got good team chemistry, you can be the best, not only that you can be, but that you can be as a teammate, or you can be as a team as a whole. But if there's bad chemistry, you can't maximize what you're going to be. So from that standpoint, talk about the team chemistry from this year's team, because it means a lot. People play a lot better, one, if they like each other and are pulling in the same direction and have the same goals. So talk about all that a little bit.
I think we had great team chemistry this year. We hung out a lot. We disagreed, but we learned how to compromise with each other. So compromise is a big word when you're on a team or like together. So if you learn how to compromise, you can really succeed.
Well, it's an important word, because y'all learned those lessons. Compromise means we're not always getting our own way. So when you compromise, maybe something you'd want to do, or way you want to do it, or what you can or can't do. But when you do something like that in a negative way, it hurts the team in a negative way. So it sounds like you girls had it together. As far as leadership, and I'm going to be talking with a 10th grader about that a little bit. But leadership, once you get on a team, it really doesn't know a grade. You like to think that the seniors more times are better leaders, but not necessarily the truth. And having said that, a 10th grader, are you one of these, Jenna, that you lead by example, or if you have to, you can get in somebody's grill?
Yes, sir. We all have our off days, so each of us each day have to become a leader. Like one day, MK, if she has an off day, I have to say to myself, MK's off, I need to step up, I need to do this for my team, or Destiny or MK, it could be anybody. I think we all showed like outstanding leadership this year, and that's what got us really far.
And she makes a good point, and Destiny, to continue along those lines, a lot of times you players can help coaches with that self-discipline. Sometimes y'all can get on a teammate in a way that a coach might feel uncomfortable or think it's a negative way to do it, but if y'all police each other, it makes it a little bit easier on everybody. So did you have any of those instances where, yeah, you have to tell somebody, look, step your game up, or do this or do that for the better of not only yourself but all of us?
I mean, I didn't have many times where I've had to, but it wasn't like where I had to. It wasn't talking them down, more to boost them up. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's like I said, it's a positive thing for the coach when y'all can do that among yourselves. Another question I enjoy asking, and we'll start with UMK. Are there any team rivals that you have, or a team you'd rather play over another team?
I mean, there's always, I don't say it's a specific team. I just say we just want to play good competition, and we just want to like win. So it's not really the team we're playing, it's us coming together and us playing at our best, and that's just what makes the game fun, because as long as we're having a good time and playing together and doing what we want, like the competition doesn't really matter to us, if that makes sense.
Good. MK, talking another question along that line, do you and your teammates, and we'll talk about you in particular right now, do you prefer playing at home before the home crowd, home cooking, Or I've had players tell me they enjoy going on the road where the pressure don't seem to be as much. You want to do your best, you want to win the ball games, but because you're away from that home where people want you to win, expect you to win, the pressure seems to be a little bit less. Have you ever thought about that?
To me, honestly, it doesn't really matter the location. As long as we're all together and we're all in for the one goal to win the game, it doesn't matter.
Well, now that sort of doesn't surprise me that you would say something like that, because that's once that's confidence, because you got to have the confidence that you can perform on the road as well as you can at home. Are there any teams you enjoy playing in particular over another?
No, but it's always fun to go to somebody's home field and beat them.
You know what? Here's the strange thing about that. You make a great point, because a hostile crowd, nothing can silence a hostile crowd by you beating them, can it? Yeah, that's when you know you're doing something right? That's the thing. How about you?
I like playing everywhere.
You do? I was going to say, it don't matter. You're just going to throw that suit on and go give 100%, right? See, I'm going to notice I was very cognizant of not saying over 100%, because I'm old school. My math, you know, you hear people say, you give me 110%. Well, in my math, the one I learned was 100 was all you had. And if you give 100, let me tell you this, girls, not only now, but when you leave school and get in college, wherever it is, as long as you give 100%, to me, that's all you got to give. And if you do that, win or lose, you'll never disappoint a coach. And you won't disappoint yourself either. But now here's where the questions get good, okay? I've just met you girls for the first time, all right? Now, there's either got to be a superstition, or maybe there's something, you've got a hobby that we don't know about, that maybe some of your buddies do, but people like me wouldn't know about. It could be, you could be a beautiful singer in the shower. But when that door is open up, the true voice comes out and there ain't nothing to it, right? Okay? Or you might write poetry, you never know. There's got to be something I don't know about you. And that would be interesting. You might like to fly fish, I don't know. But MK, what would you have to tell me?
I love traveling.
You do?
Mm-hmm. I travel, I guess it's incorporated in my softball because I travel all the time, but
do you enjoy talking a lot of it, being with your softball? You enjoy seeing new places then, new stadiums, new atmospheres like that? Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Sort of normal. Sort of.
Sorry.
But then again, not everybody wants to travel. No. You got to be you. Okay.
I have to agree with MK. I like to travel, but there's this game that we have, and it's called Spike Ball. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, it's what we do like pretty much every day, and we come together as a team, and we have a bunch of nets, and we play spike ball, and that's basically like all I ever do is softball, and that's my hobby.
Really? That's called what now?
Spike ball.
Spike ball. I thought it might be like football where you throw that ball, but that's not in. Okay, tell me something about you I don't know.
I'd have to agree with Mary Catherine, because we all get pretty competitive when we play spike ball.
Well, it sounds like you would almost be throwing at each other or something. But
no, it's a game.
No, spike ball. You
when you
understand?
get angry, that's what happens.
It's a game where you have a circle net and you have a partner. So it's a game of 4, and you have a ball, and it's kind of like volleyball, but you have to spike it on the net in order to win.
Yeah, in other words, the coach is off the day and nobody gets hurt, right?
Right.
Okay, now I'm getting it. I'm sort of getting it now. Destiny, what would it be interesting about thee?
Well, I like traveling, but I love spike ball because it's spike ball's really fun.
I was going to say, almost one of these days, next year, I may have to say, now, can I come out there and watch that just one time? You know, where I can tell you, hey, I saw a spike ball match. You ain't going to believe what I saw, you know.
I have my net in the car.
I
have mine in my car.
Oh, you do?
I do.
It goes with you everywhere you go, right? Yes. Okay, well, girls, first of all, I know you've had a great season, but also you've had a disappointing season as well. And by that, I mean you didn't achieve your ultimate goal, but still were very, very successful, and I congratulate y'all for that. Last question I got, one of the most important questions I enjoy asking any athletes, but to this point in your young lives, who's been the most inspirational person or persons? And we'll start with you.
I wouldn't be where I am without my dad. He's my go-to person for everything.
Good.
I would definitely have to agree, even though we fight all the time. He's still always there for me.
Your dad?
Yes, sir.
So if y'all fight all the time, spike ball's not part of it. Okay.
Yes, of course, my family, but also being like a younger player on the team, I also look up to MK a lot because she's an awesome role model and just someone you want to be like and you want to be around all the time. So that makes playing with her and playing so much more fun.
Ultimate compliment. That's great. Destiny?
I would have to look up to my parents because, I mean, when I'm having a bad game, I can always go to them, but I can also go to MK too. She's like booster.
Okay. Well, girls, congratulations on a great season. And except for the senior that's leaving, the rest of you girls have a great season to look forward to next year. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be changing sports. Don't you go away. We'll be right back. The next time you need electrical work, whether it be commercial or residential, you need to call Huffman Electrical Contractors. A company that's been in business for over 35 years. They've served clients not only locally in the Birmingham area and all over the state, but have clients outside the state of Alabama as well. Whether it's a new building or remodeling an older building or home, they can handle the job for you. Once again, that's Huffman Electrical Contractors. The number to call is 205-661-5005. That's 205-661-5005. Where at Huffman Electrical Contractors, a satisfied customer is always their #1 objective.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm.
Saved $760.
Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Ted Townley in Homewood today.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven.
And folks, welcome back. And in this segment, as we talked about earlier, we're going to be visiting with a baseball coach and a very successful one. And we're talking about Shane Chappell of the Pinson Valley Indians. Coach, good to see you again.
Thank you for having me.
As we get this interview started, let's tell people about your background and how you ended up being the head coach there at Pinson.
Well, I was a coach at Northwest Shoals Community College, coached there for 3 years, and we were one of the unfortunate schools that shut down the athletic program when the economy kind of went bad, and ended up at Pinson Valley. This is my 3rd year. I've had a pretty good run here so far, and we're looking, kind of got our situation where we're kind of in the top part of the 6A baseball right now. I had another good year, so looking forward to continue our success there.
Well, I tell you what, talking about that, the team that you had going into this season, and you've had 2 successful seasons, this your 3rd season. Going into this season, were the expectations high?
It was, and of course we've kind of created that for ourselves. You know, at Pinson we've been able to be successful every year, or be at least in the running every year. And so every year we go in with the expectations of ultimately making it to Montgomery. And this year was no different. You know, we kind of started off a little bit struggling early on, about midway through, or a little earlier than midway through, kind of got on a hot streak, won a lot in a row, and then just had a lot of success in the playoffs and made another good run.
Well, here's the thing about it too, and I think this is true of every coach, and no matter what the sport is, you always like that team to peak come playoff time.
Right.
And to be playing your best baseball if you can avoid injury, and things like that. And And it sounds like you had a pretty good season, that you didn't have a whole lot of injuries to deal with.
We did. Everybody stayed healthy for the most part. Had a couple guys kind of play through some injuries, and with every year you got guys that come up with pulled muscles, and we had one guy actually played through the season with a torn labrum. We just found out he's got a torn labrum. He'll have surgery here in a couple of weeks. But just that's kind of what we have. The guys we have are just competitors. They want to compete, and they'll sacrifice time, their body to help the program be successful.
When this season, which was another playoff season for you, was your team primarily senior laden, or was it spread out pretty good among the classes?
This year was more of a spread out. 2 years ago when we went to the semifinals, we had 14 seniors. And when they left, it's tough as far as the next year you're going to play with pretty much a whole new group that has not been in the varsity experience for the most part. This year we had 7 seniors. We've got 5 of those guys signed to play college baseball. We've got 2 other guys that have not signed but will have something. So hopefully here in the next week or so we can say all 7 seniors are signed. But we also had 3 sophomores that started every day. We had 2 juniors that started every day, and we got some guys that were role players that will be kind of thrust into the everyday lineup next year. That we're hoping that what we'll be able to do is continue what we just kind of finished and be able to build something for a good run over a few years.
Well, and one thing I like to talk to coaches about too, because I know you know who you're going to be playing in your areas.
Right.
That's a given.
Right.
But outside that area, you're responsible for your schedule, right? Are you one of these coaches that you believe you can schedule tough teams because a tough loss in a lot of situations is a whole lot better than a gimme type win? You grow more or become better.
Right. Well, with our schedule and our guys will tell you this in a little bit, we don't schedule wins on our season. Our easiest games usually are our area games, and the reason why we do that, even though we schedule a tough schedule, we still expect to win it, but we don't really talk about what we want our record to be at the end of the year, because at the end, area games are the most important games in the playoffs. So you're trying to build character, trying to put guys through some adverse situations, playing against some tough teams. That way, when you get into the playoffs, when the games really, really matter, you've kind of been through the fire a little bit. We've been here before. We know how to kind of overcome some adversity, but also it challenges you and makes you a better team, better player by playing against competitions a little bit better than you are supposedly.
Now, you being a 6A school, right?
Yes, sir.
Being a 6A school, do you have most of your players, are they baseball only and concentrating on one sport, or do you have a lot of multi-sport athletes?
Most of our guys play one sport. We've got a few guys. Usually what happens, like this year on the varsity, we had one guy that played both football and baseball. We didn't have anybody play anything else. We usually have some JV players that will play multiple sports, but as they get older and get to 10th, 11th grade, they kind of steer away from that. I'm a big advocate for multi-sport players. I've never asked our guys not to play anything else, but at the same time, I don't, I'm not going to demand that they play other sports as well. It's kind of up to them ultimately and their families. But for the most part, we have only baseball guys.
And talking about your sport, many of your players play on travel teams?
They do. And during the summer, our guys will play on a travel team or a post team on the weekends, and what we ask our guys to do is just whenever comes a conflict for what we're doing school-wise at Pinson, that we'll always override what they do. And most time we go Monday through Thursday during the summer, so it frees those guys up to play on the weekends if they want to. And the good thing about it, it's hard to prevent guys from doing that, because a lot of times that's a good way to get your name out there, getting recruited, and I'll never prevent guys from doing that, because ultimately that's what we want to do too.
And another part of coach, and I try to tell athletes this, but this is more on the off the field side of your coaching responsibility. How has the community embraced you and your baseball program? Because a lot of the outside monies and help come from volunteers and people that want to help you and your program be the best that it can be.
Well, we have an unbelievable support system at Pinson. Our parents are very involved from that aspect of it, and they, just like the coaching staff, want the best for the players. And it does, things that, if you want the best things, the best equipment, that get your field looking the best, it doesn't come cheap. It takes money, and our mayor has chipped in at times with different things, helping provide, whether it's, if we need golf carts to kind of help shuffle people around for a big playoff game, or volunteers. And again, our parents, they work on the field, they spend their time there as well, and And to have a program like that, it takes that support. It takes the parent involvement in the community. You know, I think our quarterfinal, semifinal matchups this year, we probably had the biggest crowds we've ever had at our place, and then the biggest crowd we've ever had really travel with us to go, and that was good to see.
Well, as we bring this to an end, our little interview here, section of the show, I like to say behind every good coach, there's a good coach's wife. Mm-hmm. Talk about your family, because it takes a special lady to be a coach's wife.
And our whole program, my wife is probably just as involved in our program as I am. You know, I don't think she's ever missed a game. And then I've got a 4-year-old daughter too that, you know, if you look on AL.com, you probably see pictures of her running around. She's in the dugout. We've probably got baby dolls, all kinds of stuff sitting around at our field. But that's just, to me, what it is. It's a family experience, and my wife is unbelievable as far as the support and helping me to be the best coach I can be.
Well, that's terrific. Coach, once again, it's good to see you again. It seems like things are going well for you and your program, and we look forward to seeing you and your guys in the playoffs again next year.
All right, thank you so much.
We'll take a quick break. We come back, a couple of gentlemen very instrumental in the great season Pinson Valley had this year. We'll be right back.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
The next time you need electrical work, whether it be commercial or residential, you need to call Huffman Electrical Contractors, a company that's been in business for over 35 years. They've served clients not only locally in the Birmingham area and all over the state, but have clients outside the state of Alabama as well. Whether it's a new building or remodeling an older building or home, they can handle the job for you. Once again, that's Huffman Electrical Contractors. The number to call is 205-661-5005. That's 205-661-5005. We're at Huffman Electrical Contractors. A satisfied customer is always their #1 objective.
Good driver discount, multi-car discount, good student discount. Helping you save money on car insurance is just part of the service you get from State Farm agent Jack Traffinstead. Whether an accident or a simple question, Jack and his staff get you the help you need. And that's the value only a State Farm agent can provide. Call Jack Traffinstead today. 40 million drivers already know nobody gives more discounts to more drivers than State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And folks, welcome back. In this segment, we're going to be visiting with two young athletes that were very instrumental in a team that went 35-12 into the playoffs again. They're getting used to that at Pinson Valley now in their baseball program. And we're talking about Baker Hodge, a senior. Baker, you're the third baseman, right?
Yes, sir.
And Blake Mays, senior and a pitcher.
Yes, sir.
Well, guys, going into this season, we'll start with you, Baker. Going into this season, what were your expectations for yourself and for your teammates going into this year?
You know, our goal is to make it to Montgomery every year. We work hard from the day we ended last season till all the way up to now. So our goal is to make it to Montgomery, no doubt.
Well, you guys had a good run, and it's one of those kind of situations. And let me tell you how coaches are, in case you hadn't figured it out now. Coaches can be disappointed sometimes if their teams don't meet what they expect out of them and what you guys expect out of yourself. But here's the deal. If you guys give 100% every time y'all hit the field, play the best that you can play, no coach is ever disappointed about that. We want to win. But ultimately, all we want is you to be the best you can be as an individual. That carries over into the team concept. Then we're going to end up being as well as we can be as a unit. So as the old saying goes, it sounds like you guys have really put together that winning atmosphere there at Pinson Valley. Blake, you're a pitcher. One thing what was your record, by the way, this year? Do you remember, you know?
4-2, I do believe.
Okay, well, one thing I like to ask pitchers, are you one of these guys or are you a pitcher or a thrower? If you had to just characterize yourself.
I have to say, you know, I wasn't the hardest throwing guy, so I guess, you know, more of a pitcher.
Pitcher?
Than a
Well,
thrower.
then let me ask you this, because pitchers are allowed to do this too. do you have a problem throwing high and tight if you have to get somebody off the plate?
You know, if they get up on my plate, you know, I gotta back them off of it sometimes.
Well, I think you said it in a good way. Most pitchers say that's my plate, and there's a place where you just don't want them to dig in. You don't mind them taking their clean cuts and everything, but you don't want them hogging your area, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, going into this year, one thing that's always important in the makeup of a team, and you guys being seniors, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about, is team chemistry. If you like each other, your teammates, you'll be the best you can be, not only as an individual, but as a team. You'll help each other to be better individually and as a team. But the flip side of that, if there's the chemistry's not good, then you won't maximize what you can be as a unit. Talk about that aspect of this year's team.
I think this year, from last year, you can obviously tell that the chemistry wasn't there some of the times. But this year we had really good team chemistry, especially when we were winning. You know, everybody was, not on each other as much when we were losing, I guess you would say. And, everybody's just having fun out there. And, we were brothers out on the field and brothers off the field and loved one another.
Yeah, well, let me ask you this. Talking about the team chemistry, a lot of times that you players can take care of some discipline and stuff like that. So you have some guys that aren't doing exactly what they ought to be able to do, or you feel like they don't play up to the standards y'all know that they're capable of. Being seniors, and you had to pull guys aside, a lot of times a coach appreciates when you guys sort of handle some, how we might have little problems where guys step out of line during the season or whatever, forget what the goal is. Do y'all have a problem being seniors, sort of getting guys back on the right path? Have y'all had to do any of that?
No, for the most part this year we all had the same goal. We were all working to make it to Montgomery. Fell short, but I believe we really didn't have a problem with that.
And the only reason I bring that up, a lot of times, guys, you don't realize it, but sometimes you police yourself, and that takes it takes a load off the coach sometimes, because sometimes y'all can get on a teammate in a way where the coach can't without maybe causing some controversy or problems, and so that's where that senior leadership comes into as well. But talking about that you and your teammates, y'all were focused and stayed that way most of the year. It sounds like you didn't have a problem from that aspect. Is that right?
Sounds about right.
When that, are you one of these guys that, being a senior and you've been around the program a lot, do you enjoy playing at home before that home crowd, home cooking, or do you like going on the road, silencing those hostile crowds? They can be pretty rowdy, but if you take care of business, they get quiet real quick.
Well, going through the playoffs, we brought a fan base to every one of them. So we had our fans there no matter what, and they supported us throughout the whole playoffs, so it was good.
Well, Blake, talking about that, it's great to have fan support because that fires all you guys up. But were there any teams during the year that you enjoyed playing more than others, or was there a team you look forward to playing as far as being competitive?
I mean, playing Clay Chalkful, that's, always exciting to play because, they're going to, try their hardest, and we're going to try our hardest to come out with a victory. And, just playing the local teams, I think, trying to have bragging rights when you win. So, Trustful and Clay are most teams that you look forward to playing.
Baker, did you have a team that you enjoyed playing more?
Those and Gardendale is a big rival this year too.
Yeah. One question that I always enjoy asking, y'all sport is baseball, and whether it be a collegiate or professional, and we'll start with you, Baker, being a third baseman, is there any professional baseball player or college player that you see one and say, gosh, that's the kind of game I'd like to have?
Yeah, there's two. Start with Mikey White from Alabama. I love the way he plays. And Manny Machado from the Orioles.
Oh, yeah. Well, I tell you what, if you could take just a little bit of what they got and sort of work it into your game, then that makes you an even better player. If you think, golly, if I want to get where they are, I got to play like they play, right?
Exactly.
How about you, Blake?
Every kid wants to be like Clayton Kershaw, and I admire how he pitches and how he handles things on the mound, and I'd like to take a couple things from him and hopefully be like that one day.
Well, I tell you what, if you get off to both you guys seniors, you hope both of them are going to play at the next level, right?
Yes, sir,
College
we
somewhere.
are.
Then if you just this much as close to what Kershaw is, you're going to be a star somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Well, guys, one thing I always like to ask players too is. This is the first time I've ever met you guys, and baseball players are notorious for having superstitions. Or is there something about you that I wouldn't know that maybe your friends know? And I'll give an example of what I'm talking about. If it's not a superstition, say you're great singers in the shower, but when you get out, all of a sudden you sound normal, you know. But that's not what I'm talking about. You might like to hunt and fish or golf, or is there something like that you get enjoyment that gets you away from the pressures of baseball a little bit?
Yeah, I love hunting and fishing, actually. I'm a big outdoors guy.
Oh, okay. So, well, if it was killing that big buck or catching the big fish, what would you get the biggest pleasure out of?
Definitely bigger bucks.
Really?
You definitely don't come across those as much as you do fish.
Right. Well, that's pretty good. How about you, Blake?
Just, you know, hanging out with the team after, you know, out of practice, you know, hanging out with, going out to eat or something, you know, just, you know, being friends with all of them and, you know, talking other than baseball, really just get your mindset off of it.
Well, I tell you what, you guys, both of you being seniors, I always like to ask this question, and I don't know, you may already know where you're going, but let's play it this way. If you were going to any college you could go to, you could have your pick, where would you go and why?
I'd love to go to Alabama, just because I've grown up cheering for them.
Oh, you've had success written all over your face. I don't blame you. That's where I'd want to go to. How about you, Blake?
Yeah, I think Alabama would be the same.
Now, both you guys, being seniors, when you go off to the next level, and I hope you have great success in playing ball and all, but what kind of classes when you get to college do you hope to take, and what would you like to do one day?
I'm going to major in business and sales. So I'm going to be taking classes to help me further in that.
Okay. How about you, Blake?
Yeah, pretty much the same, business and management.
Well, let me ask you this question. Both of you guys been seniors, been in sports a long time. Have you ever looked over there and seen the coach and thought, hey, you know, I might like to do that one day?
Yes, I've always thought about being a coach. I love the game, and I love helping out and teaching other kids how to play.
How about you, Blake?
I could see myself being a coach. You know, it's not the first thought that comes to mind, but you know, there's always teaching, you know, others, you know, how to play the sport that you love, and I think I could see myself doing that, hopefully. And
well, let me ask you, did either one of you guys, did you participate in any other sports at Pinson? We'll start with you.
No, I've played baseball.
All the time?
All 4 years here.
It's baseball.
Baseball, that's been it, huh? Well, having said that, I'm sure both of you guys being seniors, somewhere along the road, you've had to have young kids coming up asking you, you know, telling you how much they enjoyed watching you play. What would you tell a young guy that was your inspiration or the reason that you chose baseball?
You know, I'm not the tallest out there, and that definitely tell them size doesn't mean nothing. So sky's the limit, that's for sure.
Well, I tell you what, for a young guy that may not feel like he might have as much talent as somebody else, telling him something like that would be encouraging to one of them, saying, well, if he can do it, I can do it, you know. How about you, Blake?
You know, just keep working hard. If you love the sport, just keep working at it, and, you know, keep getting better every day, and, you know, never stop the grind.
Be the best you can be.
Yes, sir.
Well, guys, as we end this interview, the one question I always enjoy asking young athletes, this point into your young life, who's been the most inspirational person or persons?
I'm gonna go with my parents. They've always been by my side through 4 surgeries through high school. They've always pushed me and kept me going.
Well, good.
So I'll say that.
Yeah, definitely my parents. You know, they've come to every game, even if I'm not pitching, you know, and they sit through those 7 innings, you know, watching other players play, but they've always been there for me, and I'm thankful.
Well, that's good. That's what mom and dads do, and I tell you what, between moms and dads and that fine coach over there, you guys have got a bright future ahead of you. Congratulations on a great season. May not have won it all, but you won a lot, and you did in your career there. Folks, we'll be back. Nothing happens, same time, same place. Till next week. You know what Snapper always says, bicycle.